lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masanggamaw, #1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. You are listening to Kool FM, live from Kool Studios. This is koolNews at 6.
Good evening and welcome to koolNews at 6. Okay, let's get into the headlines. Over 900 public schools nationwide have postponed the opening of classes for the school year 2024 to 2025 due to the damage caused by Typhoon Karina, according to the Department of Education DepEd. The DepEd said 979 public schools from the capital region and other areas across the country will not start classes scheduled on Monday, July 29. Of this figure, 225 schools are in Metro Manila, 231 are in Ilocos, 452 are in Central Luzon, 67 are in Calabarzon, and 4 are in Central Visayas. The Department of Education Central Office has already notified the regional directors and schools through their respective school divisions, the agency said. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. earlier announced that the opening of classes will continue on July 29. However, those affected by the recent typhoon flooding caused by Typhoon Karina will have the discretion to decide whether or not they need more time to recover. A vessel containing working fuel sank off Mariveles in Bataan Province on Saturday afternoon, the Philippine Coast Guard said on Sunday. The PCG reported that 3 Coast Guard vessels checked the waters of Barangay Caben and confirmed the presence of the sunken vessel around 5 p.m. on Saturday. Coast Guard divers conducted an initial underwater assessment earlier today and determined the identification of the vessel as MTKR Justin Bradley. Diving operations are ongoing to determine the status of the sunken vessel, the agency said. Salvage operations will commence soon, now preparing equipment. The operations will be done in 1 to 2 weeks, it added. The PCG said no other details about the vessel were provided. Authorities said the Philippine flag tanker carrying industrial fuel capsized and eventually submerged in waters off Bataan last July 25. On Saturday, the agency said the oil from the sunken motor tanker, Mount Terra Nova, started to leak into Manila Bay, spreading about 12 to 14 kilometers across the area. The PCG assured the public that the oil leak was manageable or minimal and its draining process could be done quickly within a week. The police seized more than 421,000 pesos worth of shabu from 2 alleged high-value drug traffickers in Ortigas Town in Rizal Province on Saturday, July 27. Police Region 4A Director Brigadier General Paul Kenneth Lucas reported that Ray, age 34, and Rafi, age 37, were collared by anti-illegal drug operators after they allegedly sold shabu to a prosper buyer in Barangay San Jose at 5:10 p.m. The law enforcers confiscated from the suspects 9 plastic sachets containing shabu weighing 62 grams worth 421,600 pesos. They tagged the suspects, both residents of the same village, as among the persons included in the police drug watch list as high-value individuals in the low drug trade. Authorities are investigating the source of the drugs. The suspects are being detained and are facing charges of violating Republic Act 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. One of the 35 injured victims of the liquefied petroleum gas LPG tank explosion in the city, or Legazpi City, died while undergoing treatment early Sunday, July 28. Jolie Masarete, age 42, a resident of Daraga Town in Albay, died at 12:40 a.m. according to his family. His daughter, Rachel Masrate, sustained multiple injuries in his body after the explosion at the food stall at the Courtyard building here on Saturday morning, July 27. He was the van driver of one of the visitors during the blessing of the food stall. Alpine Police spokesperson Major Luisatino earlier said the other victims who sustained cuts and burns were taken to different hospitals in the city. The Bureau of Fire Investigation is investigating the incident. In a statement on Saturday, the management of the building said they would provide support to the victims of the LPG explosion. Above all, we reach out to the individuals affected by such incident and we are committed to providing our full support to facilitate the speedy recovery, it said in the Facebook post. Enrollment in public and private schools in the country declined over the past 3 consecutive years, data from the Department of Education DepEd showed. The agency reported that for the coming school year 2024 to 2025, only 18,370,310 learners enrolled, a decrease of over 4.5 million from the previous school year's 22,917,725 enrollees. Furthermore, the 22,917,725 enrollees for school year 2023 to 2024 were 5.8 million fewer than the 28,797,660 enrollees for school year 2022 to 2023. The school opening was also delayed in some areas nationwide. According to the DepEd, 12,866 schools were affected by the recent torrential rains and flooding brought by Typhoon Karina, which enhanced the southwest monsoon, locally called Hapagat. As of July 27, at least 1,063 schools declared postponement of their class openings initially scheduled for July 29 to allow rehabilitation and cleanup activities. Education Secretary Sonny Anggaran said schools that delayed the opening of classes due to the effects of the typhoon should conduct make-up classes. Last May, the National Economic and Development Authority Board approved the 30.56 billion peso fund for the repair and rehabilitation of school facilities outside the National Capital Region damaged by recent calamities. The amount comprises of funding for the infrastructure for safer and resilient schools project, which involves the repair, rehabilitation, retrofitting, and reconstruction of schools affected by natural disasters from 2019 to 2023. The DepEd and the Department of Public Works and Highways will implement the ISRS project, benefiting 1,282 schools, 4,756 school buildings, 13,101 classrooms, and 741,038 learners. Another component of the initiative is the relatively complex Works for School Infrastructure Recovery Project, which has a budget of 19.8 billion pesos, covering projects in 78 of the country's 82 provinces. Moreover, the relatively simple Works for School Infrastructure Recovery and Operations and Maintenance Project is expected to benefit schools in 62 provinces with its 9.65 billion pesos fund. The siphoning of the 1.4 million liters of fuel from the sunken motor tanker in Manila Bay will be rescheduled after sealing 9 of the ship's valves, leaking more oil, the Philippine Coast Guard said on Sunday. In a press briefing, PCG spokesperson Admiral Arman Balilos disclosed that divers have confirmed the presence of 9 leaking valves in the second empty Terra Nova. Immediately, the divers worked on sealing the valves, finishing the application of the second layer of sealant at around 10:42 a.m., the agency said in a separate statement. As of press time, Harbor Star divers continue to monitor the status of the 9 valves and will conclude their operations after confirming the present absence of intrusive fuel oil leakage on board, it added. Last July 25, authorities said a Philippine flag tanker carrying intrusive fuel capsized and eventually submerged in waters of Bataan province. On Saturday, TPCG said the oil from the sunken motor tanker Terra Nova started to leak into Manila Bay, spreading about 12 to 14 kilometers across the area. But Balilo assured the public that the leak was manageable or minimum and that its draining process can be done quickly within a week. And a fire of still unknown origin raised 28 houses in Taytay Town in Rizal Province on Saturday, July 27, the local fire station said. The Police Region 48 reported on Sunday that the blaze erupted around 2 p.m. in Purok 15, Valley Compound in Barangay San Juan. San Juan, yeah. Local firemen were able to put off the fire up to 2 hours and 48 minutes. The police said no one was reported injured during the blaze. Mayor Alan De Leon, in a report on his Facebook page, said the authorities evacuated 50 families composed of 200 individuals during the fire. They were brought to a covered court in a village for their temporary settlement and were attended by local social workers. The police said the property damage and the cause of the fire have yet to be determined by authorities. Alright, it is now 6:11 in the evening and we will have more headlines coming up right here on koolNews at 6, so don't go anywhere, we will be right back. to koolNews at 6. Now let's get into the international headlines. Eleven people were killed after a mudslide hit a house in southeastern China on Sunday as heavy rains from what remained of a tropical storm drenched region, state media said. Elsewhere in China, a delivery person on the scooter was killed Saturday after being hit by a falling tree in Shanghai, apparently because of storm-related winds, according to the paper, a digital news outlet. The deaths were the first in China that appeared linked to Typhoon Gami, which weakened to a tropical storm after making landfall on Thursday. Before reaching China, the typhoon intensified monsoon rains in the Philippines, leaving at least 34 dead and swept across the island of Taiwan, where the death toll has risen to 10, authorities said late Saturday. The mudslide struck the house about 8 a.m. in Yulin village, which falls under the jurisdiction of Hongyang City in Hunan Province, state broadcaster CCTV said in a series of online reports. An early report said that 18 people were trapped by the mudslide and that 6 injured people had been rescued. It wasn't clear in the latest report if one other person remained missing. The reports didn't say who was staying in the house, which was rented for temporary stays. There was no information on whether the injuries were serious. The report said the mudslide was triggered by water rushing down the mountains from heavy rains. They didn't mention Gami, but the China Meteorological Administration said that rain tied to the tropical storm hit southeastern parts of Hunan province on Saturday. In Shanghai, a photo posted by the paper showed a delivery scooter on its side, mostly covered by leafy branches, near the still standing burns trunk of a tree. It said that winds from the storm were the suspected cause and that the investigation was continuing. The wide arc of the tropical storm also was bringing heavy rain about 2,000 kilometers or 1,200 miles away to Liaoning province in China's northeast. Hundreds of chemical and mining companies suspended operations from Saturday as a precautionary measure, and more than 30,000 people have been evacuated, the official Xinhua news agency said. Nearly 14 trains were suspended through Thursday for safety reasons after steady rain in recent days created hazards and damaged trucks. 2 more people were reported dead in Taiwan, raising the death toll to 10, the island's central news agency said, quoting the Emergency Operations Center. 2 others were missing and 895 people were injured. The latest victims were a man found in a drainage ditch and another man who died in a car accident. More than 800 people remain in shelters in Taiwan as of Saturday night, and more than 5,000 households were without power. The typhoon cost nearly 1.7 billion new Taiwan dollars or $51.8 million US dollars in damage to crops including bananas, guavas, and pears, chicken and other livestock farming, and oyster and other fisheries, the Central News Agency said, citing figures from the Ministry of Agriculture. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was set to announce Sunday an upgrade to U.S. command structures in Japan, as Washington and Tokyo overhaul military cooperation in the face of an increasingly assertive China. The United States has around 54,000 military personnel in Japan, who currently report back to Indo-Pacific Command in Hawaii, around 6,500 kilometers or 4,000 miles away and 19 hours behind. But Austin, who on Sunday joined U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken for 2+2 talks with their counterparts in Tokyo, will announce a new joint force headquarters headed by a 3-star commander, a U.S. military official said. This will serve as a counterpart to Japan's planned Joint Operations Command for all its armed forces, making the 2 militaries more nimble in the case of the crisis over Taiwan or the Korean Peninsula. Prompted by unease about China and alarm about North Korea, Japan has in recent years been shedding its strict Pacific stance, ramping up defense spending and moving to obtain counter-strike capabilities. In April, President Joe Biden and Prime Minister Fumio Kishida announced a new era in cooperation at a summit at the White House. This month, Japan and the Philippines, Blinken and Austin's next stop for the 2+2, signed a defense pact that will allow the deployment of troops on each other's territory. This followed the first trilateral summit in April between the leaders of Japan, the Philippines, and the United States in Washington. As with Manila, Japan and South Korea have also moved to bury the hatchet over World War II, with Biden hosting both countries' leaders at Camp David last August. Ahead of the Japan-US two-plus-two meeting, Austin and Japanese Defense Minister Minoru Kihara held trilateral talks with Shin Won-sik, the first South Korean defense minister to visit Japan in 15 years. They signed a memorandum of cooperation to further tighten ties, including on information sharing and trilateral exercises. Trilateral cooperation among Japan, the United States, and South Korea has become stronger and unshakable even after various changes in the international situation, Kihara told reporters after the meeting. The discussions between Japan and the US were also set to cover enhancing Washington's extended deterrence commitment to use its military capabilities, including nuclear weapons, to protect Japan. China's military modernization, North Korea's unclear and missile work, and nuclear saber rattling in the Ukraine war have unsettled Japan, said Naoko Aki, political scientist at the RAND think tank. It is important for the United States to reassure Japan of its commitment and signal to potential adversaries that the alliance remains strong and that the United States is committed to using nuclear weapons if necessary to defend Japan, she told AFP. On Monday, Blinken and Japanese Foreign Minister Yoko Kamikawa will meet as Jai Sangar and Penny Wong, their Indian and Australian counterparts in the Quad, an alliance seen as a bulwark against Beijing. In Laos on Saturday, Blinken and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi sparred over what the top U.S. diplomat had criticized as Beijing's escalatory and unlawful actions in the South China Sea. The U.S. should refrain from fanning the flames, stirring up trouble, and undermining stability at sea, Wang said at the meeting, according to a foreign ministry statement. Blinken also raised U.S. concerns about proactive or provocative actions by China, including a simulated blockade of Taiwan following the main integration of President Lai Ching-te. China claims the democratic island as its territory and slammed Lai's integration speech as a confession of independence. Blinken also raised U.S. concerns over China's support for Russia as it wages war in Ukraine. Two U.S. senators are calling on the Federal Trade Commission to investigate automakers selling customers' driving data to brokers who package it, then sell it to insurance companies. In a letter to FTC Chairwoman Linda Kahan, Democrats Ron Wyden of Oregon and Edward Markey of Massachusetts allege that General Motors, Hyundai, and Honda, and perhaps others, are sharing drivers' data, such as sudden braking and acceleration. The automakers, the senator said in a statement Friday, use decisive tactics to manipulate customers into signing up for disclosure of the data to brokers. After reading a report in the New York Times, Wyden's office looked into the three automakers and found that they share data with broker Verisk Analytics. In a letter to Kahan, the senators wrote that all three automakers confirmed disclosure of the data. GM also confirmed that it disclosed customer location data to two other companies that the automaker would not name, the letter said. Verisk used the data to prepare reports on driving behavior history and sold them to insurance companies, the letter said. Some automakers may have deceived customers by advertising data disclosures as a way to reduce insurance bills without telling them that some insurers could charge more, the senators wrote. If FTC determines that these companies violated the law, we urge you to hold the companies and their senior executives accountable, the senators wrote to Kahan. GM wouldn't say how many cars data was sent to brokers or what it was paid, according to the letter. Wyden's office found that Hyundai shared data from 1.7 million vehicles and was paid just over $1 million, while Honda got just under $26,000 for data from 97,000 vehicles, the senator said. A message was left Friday after business hours seeking comment from the FTC. In an email, GM denied that it deceived customers into enrolling in the data sharing program with Verisk. Data share partnerships with Forex and LexisNexis were cancelled in March, and its data share program called Smart Driver ended in June, GM said. Data was only shared with an insurer if a customer initiated a quote directly with their chosen carrier and provided a separate consent to that carrier, the email said. The company said it does share the identified data with partners to aid city infrastructure and make roads safer. In a statement, Hyundai said the senator's letter mischaracterizes its data policies and that it has safeguards to make sure customers agree to sharing driving information with insurers. Customers, it said, had the option to connect driving scores to their insurers through risk for possible benefits such as good driving discounts. It is important to note that risk was not authorized by Hyundai or the customer to share the drive score data with insurers until the customer formally consented to this on an insurer's website or app, Hyundai said. Honda also said that customers had to opt into the program with risk. Some customers with good driving scores were given the chance to agree to discount offers from insurers. Without that clear second opt-in by the customer, no identifiable consumer information was shared with any insurance company, Honda said. Flores also disagreed with Wei Den and Marquez and said in a statement that it acts to ensure data is accessed and used appropriately. The company said using data responsibly is the cornerstone of our business. And that is it for koolNews at 6. As always, you can get in touch with us at tvhthephilippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back with more headlines later with koolNews Primetime at 9 p.m. tonight. Until then, I am Cairo, and we will see you later for more headlines at 9 p.m. Goodbye for now.